Hello everyone, I'm Neha, your happiness coach. Have you ever wondered why your perfectly sweet child suddenly becomes stubborn, secretive, completely glued to the device between the age of 18 to 15? It's not misbehavior, it's just change. It's just the mode, the phase, the transition that your child is going through, the changes that are happening with them between this age. And today I'm going to break down exactly what parents must do and what happens between this age so that you don't go wrong and you can get this entire thing bang on. By the end of this video, you will know how to guide your child in the exactly the right manner without having conflict and more of connection between the two of you so that your relationship is intact and you are able to handle this more easily and more accommodatively than actually ending up getting frustrated, shouting, and having those verbal exchanges. So, generally, this starts when they turn 8. So, the first phase where they get started with this is called the identity explosions phase, where they start asking or having questions in them: who am I? Who are my friends? Are my parents right for me? Are they listening? So these are the kind of questions that start growing up in them. And what are their typical behaviors during this? They will suddenly become more close to their friends. They will start, being a little pulling themselves from you, start having those little secrets. So all these things will happen when they get into that phase. They would want to know who am I, what am I doing, who are my friends. They'll get more closer to their friends. So this is like the general behavior change that they will have. Generally this starts from 8, and this phase will be, see, so now all the phases that I'm going to tell you will start at different stages, like at 8, 9, 10, but they are going to be continued, like say about 8 to 11 or 9 to 12. So they will be colliding with each other, and we should be able to understand this and kind of match up to that. Trust me guys, maybe when you see this video you might find it too overwhelming, thinking, oh my god, I have to do so much. But it's very basic and simple. You just have to get these little pointers right there in your head, and then everything else is just going to get smooth. So the next phase that they get into once they turn 9 are this emotional swings. They will start having these high mood swings. I'm sure a lot of you must have experienced this. They'll start crying for everything. They'll be very emotional. Anything, even the slightest of the voice raise that you do on them, they will start crying. They will, start a little arguing with you. They will just, hold back. So there are hormonal shifts that occur. So generally, what are the symptoms? Well, if I can say, use that word, what happens is they start crying very easily. They'll get irritated very fast. I'm sure a lot of you must have experienced this. This statement will very often come to you that you don't understand me, you are not listening to me. So this is the time when their emotional quotient is really high. They really get high on that, and these are the repeated things that you will hear from your child. Slowly moving over to the next phase as they turn 10, it will get into the peer pressures. The peer pressure will start intensifying. They'll start comparing themselves to their friends, to their peers. Everything they would be like, oh, they'll start, having a point where they'll start really focusing on how they look. If they are girls, they are more into it, their hair, their dressing, and everything. And how do I physically look? How am I appearing in front of my friends? Am I really, like in that crowd kind of a feeling? In this particular phase, my dear parents, the friends will be way above you. So you have to accept that, take a step back, and just make sure that you're comforting them and not getting into it when they are just telling you that, no, I want to be with my friend, I want to meet, or he or she's getting a little secretive there. As they move over to the next age level, which is by the time they hit 11, the independence battle starts. The child mind would always say, leave me alone, I want to be independent. And the parent mind would say, no, 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 you need guidance. I'm sure all of us have been into this, sailing into this boat, and have experienced this, many a times. But I'm sure now, after seeing my video, and please do watch my video till the end for you to know exactly how to handle this and the best way you as a parent can handle, and make sure that your child is moving in line with you as he is going through these phases. Moving on to the next phase as they turn 12, they slowly start moving over, risk taking and curiosity levels gets really high. So now is the time when they will start hiding a few things from you. They wouldn't want to share it with you, wouldn't want to tell you. They want to try out new adventurous things, and it's a time where, with going with friends and moving around, having those tiny things, wanting to try that coolness factor, just wanting to be with the crowd, and the whole thing of, I'm so cool kind of an attitude. So this is normal. Kids, at once they start turning 12, this kind of risk taking factor comes into them, and they actually become a little more bolder. I've seen this change in a lot of kids that have been around me, even for counseling, and my own niece, I have experienced this with her. As she used to be really very timid, but as she turned 12, suddenly that drastic change was, in her, and she became really very adventurous, and just out of that whole excitement, it made her do things. Sometimes I always tell parents that when your child is not really into something, or he or she is scared, please respect that. Don't push them saying, oh, don't be so scared, you should always be brave and all that. Don't start lecturing them immediately. Sometimes it's just good to let them be, and then move on. As and when there will be time when they themselves will want to try, they themselves will want to push their limits and be out there just to be amongst their friends, and that will automatically work in your favor, and they will start getting braver. So these are overall the phases where the kids will have this changing behavior. Now I'm going to move over to the point where I'm going to tell you what as parents we can do, and what exactly are the pointers that we should follow, so that we can deal with these different phases completely being aware and helping them get over this stress. They, as well as we as parents, can get over this together cohesively. This is exactly what smart parents should do. The very first point, build connection before correction. See, if you're trying to correct them immediately, if they're telling you something, they will completely shut off and they will not listen to you. So you need to connect with them. So how do you establish that connect? Listen to them. When they're talking to you, let them finish. Immediately, it's that impulse, right? That we have immediately, we want to just say, oh, no, 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 don't do this. Have a control on that feeling. I understand you're a parent, but listening to them patiently is the key. If you're listening to them uninterrupted and with complete focus, they are completely with you, and they know that, mom or dad are listening to me, and they are not jumping up to conclusions to me immediately that don't do this, don't do that. Got it? That's the very first and the first basic step that we as a parent should definitely master. Ask them things like, what do you think we should do? Don't immediately rush up into giving them advice. You can do that, but first listen and then process your advice in your head, and then come to it once they are done, and be patient about that a little bit. The second point is set boundaries without controlling. See, the moment you start controlling and start having that kind of a thing, no, you will not do this. That is the biggest mistake that parents do during this age. It's a time where they are already not in a mode where they want to listen, they want to rebel, right? So we have to be very careful and cautious with the kind of terminologies that we use. You can sit with them, make rules in consultation with them. So, let's sit, let's discuss on how we can go about this. How do you want me to take this? If you're going to study for an hour, maybe there is going to be a 15 minutes of your free time where you can do anything that you want, and I'm not going to tell you anything. Things like that. It will give them the comfort that you're not hammering them with rules. It will give them the peace and the calm that, okay, this is in consultation with me, and it will also brush their ego on the right side, where they will feel that, okay, I'm being consulted, I'm being asked, this is not entrusted on me, it's not enforced on me. And that's exactly the idea of you to connect your child very, very easily. This whole concept builds responsibility. The third point is understand their world. Phone, trends, friends, social media, everything. Most of the time, the problem is that parents judge and they don't understand. Try and talk to them, ask them, what is that you're doing? Ask them to teach you something. Kids in this age love to hear that, and they are very excited when the moment you tell them that, okay, I don't know this, can you teach me? This is a typical classic example that I actually go through every day with my son. The moment I tell him, oh, if it's a new slang that he's using, what are you using, here? I don't understand this. Viman, can you help me? And immediately that, that bright eyes and that smile. Yes, Mama, I will tell you. So, these are tips and tricks. Just try and talk to them, ask them for things. Oh, can you help me in this? Gives them a lot of happiness. Fourth point is talk in a language that they understand. They hate lecture at this point of time in their age. I'm sure all of us also have been through this age and we hated our parents giving us long lectures, right? So avoid telling them when I was your age. Don't compare them. Don't tell them, oh, your friend is like this and you're not like this. Keep it short and crisp. When you're talking to them, let your sentences be short. Give them more examples of life stories if you want to put a point across, something which is more current, which they are into, they understand, instead of telling every time going back into the 1990s and 80s and all of that. Fifth point would be give them emotional vocabulary. Kids do not find it very easy to express. 90% of the kids don't express. So please make them talk, tell them to give you sentences, phrases. When you're frustrated, please talk it out and say, I am frustrated, because you have to put these words, put these thoughts and sentences into them, because most of the kids actually don't end up expressing themselves. They don't know how to express it. I am feeling left out or lonely today because I want to have some time with you. I want to talk this out, right? Things like that, so that they know. Trust me, parents, 60% of the misbehavior would reduce once you teach them this emotional vocabulary and once they are able to voice out their emotions to you easily. The next point is celebrate effort and not just achievement. It boosts their confidence to a different level. Tell them things like, I love what the way you have tried and it didn't work out, doesn't matter. The efforts that you have put are amazing. The way you handled the situation was too good. This gives them immense confidence and the mindset changes that yes, I'm being heard, I'm being understood, and I am being appreciated for the efforts also that I am taking. The last point is schedule a one-on-one talk with them. However busy you are, even if you're working, make sure that 15 to 20 minutes you decide, and in a week at least 3 to 4 times you get that time with them. Every day preferable, but at least if you're not able to manage that time every day, 3 to 4 times in a week is mandate. There is no second way to it. It could be a walk, it could be just a chat, a car drive that you're sitting and playing with them, or before their bedtime just having a chat with them. Gives that perfect time and the perfect way to connect with your child deep down within and for long term. So having these points in mind, there are few red flags that you need to be aware of and that you need to immediately pay attention to if your child is getting into that direction when things like this happen between this age group of 18 to 15. Let me just quickly jot it down for you. Sudden social withdrawal, lack in hobbies, something that they really like doing and suddenly they are not doing, anger issues, getting back on very, very small petty things, drastic drop in grades, continuous bullying. If you feel that he or she is being bullied and they are getting really low about it, please make sure that any of these pointers, if your child you see in them, it is a red flag and you need to talk it out and discuss it with them on an immediate basis before it gets too late. Constant phone secrecy or late night chats, or if he or she is reading something, see, you don't have to panic. You just have to just talk, observe, wait, take help if need be with somebody like me, or just make sure you give them time and make sure that this discussion is happening with them. There's absolutely nothing to panic because it's the first stage itself that you would have recognized the problem. All that you have to do is just start fixing it in the manner that you understand is best for him or her. My dear parents, please understand that we need to make a long-term, unbreakable bond with our child. And how we can do is very simple. Just by following these 6 steps, you can easily be the best friend that your child ever has in his or her life. The very first point is don't overreact when they tell you something sensitive. Be mindful. Second point is don't make fun of their feelings. Third point is don't share their secret with relatives. That's the most criminal mistake that you can do as a parent. However close anybody could be, but if your child has confided in you, has told you something that he or she feels deep down, please don't share. Let me tell you something. My son many a times shares with me very, they are very silly things. Of course, at that age, they might be really sounding silly to you, but that's his kept secret. And he will tell me many a times, Mama, it's a promise, okay? Don't tell it to Papa also. Of course, they are very silly things, of course, but then you can share. But then make sure, if at all, even if I'm sharing it with my husband and I end up telling him, I always tell him that make sure that this is not coming out when he is around. Because if he's, otherwise, next time, never, ever anything of that sort will come to me, right? So make sure if he or she is confiding in you, you are a person who are keeping up to those secrets. Don't compare them. The next point would be consistent with rules. Don't make it a intermittent kind of a thing. And the last point is do apologize when it's your mistake. It builds humongous respect in their mind and heart for you when you do that. Don't let your ego come in between and have that parent think that I am older, I am the parent, I cannot apologize. No. If you have made a mistake, it's okay. At the end of the day, he or she is your own child. Please make sure that you apologize. So, my dear parents, I hope all these pointers have helped you. And let me just quickly summarize for you the mantras that you should follow as a parent. Build connection before correction. Guide, don't control. Listen more, speak less. Be their safe space and not stress space. And please understand that they are not misbehaving, they are just growing and it's their developmental phase. And completely be mindful of this. Parenting this age is not completely easy, but once you understand and start following a rhythm, a pattern, and these steps, it becomes a beautiful journey. If you're facing difficulty in handling your child, there are a lot of disconnects between you and your child, you can also get in touch with me. Send me a message, WhatsApp, or call me on the number that is being flashed above, and I will get in touch with you. We can fix up an appointment. You can get in touch with me for any kind of parent or child counseling, and we can sort this matter way more easily and amicably than actually you think that is getting complicated with your child. If this video helped you understand your child better, do share it with another parent who might just need to hear this today in order to have a good day together. Don't forget to like the video and drop in your comments. I read them all personally and will revert to you. And if you would love more parenting insights, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that we can grow through this journey of parenting together. Until then, it's me Neha signing off. Bye-bye.